What would your life look like if you followed your joy? Now, bear with me for a second because this may sound a little bit woo woo or cheesy, but I'm telling you, it's such an incredible thing when you can do this in your life. So I was on a podcast this afternoon and she was interviewing me about how I know this woman in person, and we were talking about how we met 14 years ago. And she was just going on and on about how different I look, how different I glow, how different my energy is, all of the things. And she wanted to know why. And it was really fun to tell the story. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to hop on YouTube and I'm going to tell the people that want to watch this video about it. And maybe it's going to inspire one of you or more to do something different, even if it's just a little thing. And this little thing could be life-changing for you. Bottom line, I changed my life to allow me to live in what makes me happy, to live in the things that bring me joy. So every time I'm going to make a decision with anything in my life, whether it's business, people, dating, money, purchases, travels, whatever it is, I ask myself, is that thing going to interfere in any way with my joy, with my freedom to choose based on joy, not other things? So I wake up in the morning and I wake up to no alarm clock. I have no boss, no appointments, nowhere I have to be. Now, that doesn't mean I don't work. So how is it that this is the way it is? And I was able to buy 2 houses within 6 months of each other at the same time as putting my daughter into an expensive college, all on just my own personal income, independent contractor, having my own business. And it's because I chose a life that allows me to do only the tasks that I enjoy. And I want to be really clear about this because for some people, going to an office and interacting with other people is your joy. For example, my youngest daughter and I were talking the other day, and she sees me. She knows I have these businesses. She knows I've always worked for myself. And she says, I want to go somewhere to an office. I want to be part of something. I want to be connected to people. She wants the alarm clock. She wants to get up and go. So that is her joy. So I really want to point out that I am not here to sell you on an independent contractor, on a owning your own business. I'm here to tell you to follow your joy with whatever that is. So what I did in order to get here, now, right now, like I said, I own my own home. I am divorced. I got divorced 8 years ago and got nothing. There was no house to sell. There was nothing. A lot of people have this misconception when they see me, especially men. Oh, well, she must have got money from the divorce. There's some reason she was able to do it. No, they're not at all. Not at all. I had a real estate license, but I wasn't actively selling, and I never did go back into actively selling. And I had started teaching people how to build their business online, how to make money online, like through back then it was real estate websites. I was teaching real estate agents how to build their websites. But I was very scared. I went and got an apartment with my with my 13-year-old daughter. I got a 700 and something square foot apartment. And I started job hunting. I did. I interviewed at a few places. And now I have not had a job since I was 16 years old. Well, I take that back. There was one little moment where my ex and I were together and then separated, that I took a marketing job for the real estate office for just a few months. But other than that, I was a teenager the last time I had an actual job and a paycheck. I've always worked for myself outside of that. And so I was scared. I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make ends meet and pay the bills and take care of her. I'd never been on my own before. Even though I was 45 years old, I was scared of driving. I was kind of scared of the world a little bit, even though I was very self-confident in my skill set with work. I had a lot of fear related to the world and being solo. And during that time frame, there was 5 years in that little apartment when I was working on getting her off to, I wanted to help her get into college, the college she wanted to get into, which meant I had to get my credit score up. When I left that marriage, most of the stuff was in his name, but unfortunately I had inherited. I make it sound like I'm a victim, but I'm not. I want to take that back. Let's just put it this way. When I got divorced, my credit score was low. It was below 700. And now it's over 800. It's near perfection now that I've figured it all, figured myself out and how I wanted that all to look. But what I did was I had 5 years to get my credit score high enough to be able to qualify for her college loans, because I didn't want her to take any college loans. I wanted to do them myself, which I will come on and talk about in another video, because I had to find a loan company and do all this. I found a great one. And anyway, got her into college. And during those 5 years, I just put my head down and I built my business. But during that time frame, I kept a spreadsheet. And on one side of the spreadsheet, I had joy. And on another side of the spreadsheet, I had pain. And what I would do, I'm a spreadsheet girl, I'm a Virgo. What I would do is every time I found something was draining me, making me frustrated, I had a headache afterwards. Sometimes I was even crying, or I was angry, or any of those things. I would identify the task the thing that I was doing, not the person I was with or any of that, the thing that I was doing, and I would write it down on that spreadsheet. And then anytime something would bring me joy, I would catch myself clapping, singing. Sometimes I jump up from the computer like, yeah, I get so excited when I'm looking at my analytics and things like that, that I will just be very out loud excited. Or if I found myself just humming or saying, this is good, or feeling good, or any of those types of things, gaining energy, they went on the joy list. Okay. Over time, it was shocking to me. The things that brought me pain and the things that brought me joy, they were repeating the exact same glaring things. Well, on my pain list was people. And it was kind of ironic because my behavioral profile, professional behavioral profile, is one of a leader, strong, growth oriented, yada, yada. So I'm always kind of winding up in the leadership positions in my companies. Even though I really prefer to be behind the computer doing marketing, I would wind up running our companies, my ex-husband and myself, and then mine afterwards. And what was making me crazy was people. And it wasn't that there was something wrong with the people. It was that I didn't enjoy doing this one-to-one type of growth with somebody else. I really wanted to be just on the stages doing my speaking, or on my computer, not working one-to-one like that directly. Now, I love teaching, I love coaching, but I like doing it in groups. So that one-to-one interaction was really draining me. And then I was also not loving business when I started to grow my business again, because, every time I would hire somebody, I had to go through all this process of training them and doing all of these things, and then setting expectations, and then being disappointed if their expectations weren't delivered, or them being disappointed in me as a leader, which happens, of course. It just was a frustrating push and pull for me. And let me tell you, I got on planes, I flew around, I trained with the best leaders. I really gave it everything I had. Pain. And then I went over and I looked at my joy. Where was I finding joy? Teaching, speaking, computer, marketing, my affiliate marketing, building my websites, all of this stuff over here was bringing me joy. I just spent 3 hours in this room here today, so happy. This brings me joy. And there's no people. You're the people on the other side of the camera. But I'm able now to get my own results without having to work through others, which for me just makes me happier. And there are people out there that love working with others and coaching others and all that. I like coaching as a group, but more in a teaching format. Here's how to do XYZ, So as I started doing that, this started showing up in my whole life, everywhere. What brought me pain? Complex recipes. I don't like cooking complex recipes. And especially since I'm one person, I want one pan meals or pre-made meals, meal prepped, things that are ready to go that aren't junk food, that are on the healthier side. And I had to move, push and pull that for a while to figure out, oh, what does that look like? Now I get in my car and I drive 25 minutes to the Trader Joe's, because I'm in a small town now outside of Las Vegas, and it takes a while to get to Trader Joe's. And I love it. And I do my shopping and I buy all my healthy stuff, and a whole bunch of that is pre-made. And I bring it home and I feel so good. I feel so good. I love that process. But I had to learn what those things were. And I'll tell you what, over time, I started discovering I like traveling by myself. Who knew? I like traveling by myself as much as, or more than, traveling with somebody else now in many cases. Why? It's that pain point. It's the people pain point. I'm now responsible for somebody else. Or I am responsible for being somebody else's counterpart, which means there's an expectation around my behavior. I have to be a certain way. And that's a lot of pressure. When does that person want to eat? When do I want to eat? What do we want to eat? When do they go to bed? When do I go to bed? When do they wake up? It's so hard when you're not like completely in sync, and you got to figure all those things out. Now, does that mean I won't travel with anybody else? No, I'm taking my mom to Alaska in a few weeks. But you know what I did? I got us separate rooms. We each have our own rooms. We each have our own balconies. I have learned what brings me pain and what brings me joy, and how I can still do certain things in life and still follow my joy and avoid the pain. And it's remarkable how well it works. And honestly, if I have friends, or I meet people that I think are my friends, and there's more pain than there is joy, I walk away. And that's part of the beauty of midlife years, empty nester, being divorced, living on my own. I get to choose that. I've earned that right to choose that. When I was married, when I had kids, it was all about them. Well, that sounds bad too. I shouldn't say it that way, but as a mom, as a wife, we do really tend to pour into the family, especially when we're nurturers, natural nurturers. I'm not like saying I'm like lovey-dovey, like come over here and let me cuddle you all day long. But I want to provide for you. I want to care for you. And now all I have to do is care for myself. And what a wonderful place that is to have earned my way into. And still to this day, I follow my joy. And anytime I feel a lot of friction, and I don't just mean starting something new and having a little bit of friction. Anytime you learn a new skill set, or there's a new relationship, or you move, or you have a new job, there's going to be some friction, a little bit of like figuring it out. But I'm talking about that sandpaper kind of friction. This is making me nuts kind of friction that doesn't go away. Then I look at it and say, why is that there? Oh, I gave myself a job, didn't I? Or I gave myself some sort of responsibility I don't want. Or I put myself in a relationship I don't want. Or something is happening there, and I can identify it, and I can move it away, and I can come back in and follow my joy. Now, does that mean everything is perfect? There's never going to be such a thing, right? And I have days where everything is so wonderful all day long, and then at night, suddenly anxiety creeps up or something, and I've got I'm unsettled at that time, or something happens with a family member, somebody I care about. It's just life. It's just life. But I will say that the moment I started following my joy, all the money came together. All my work came together. I stopped. I never had to worry about going and looking for a job again. I just followed my natural, I call it inspired action. Where do I want to be right now? What do I want to do right now? Where do I want to go right now? And I just kept following that and following that and following that. And the money just comes. It just follows that. So anyway, in case you're wondering, this is what I do for a living. I am a digital marketer. So I do affiliate marketing. I try on clothes, I do beauty, I do fashion, I teach people how to use software. I'm a coach, a business coach for affiliate marketers and influencers. I build digital products. So that's just kind of my little world. But anyway, I just thought I'd pop on here and share that with you today. And just remember, no matter what you're doing, follow that joy.